95% of what you buy is made overseas, but a stubborn few American factories never left. Boots, cast iron, knives, denim, still made by hand, still outlasting the imports. How 5 of them survived is the real story. Red Wing Shoe Company has spent more than a century refining boots for the long haul. Founded in 1905 in Red Wing, Minnesota, the company anchors its reputation on a process called Goodyear welt construction, a method that binds the sole to the upper with over 300 stitches. This design isn't just for show. It allows each boot to be resoled again and again, multiplying its lifespan far beyond the average. Where most imported boots wear out and end up in landfills after a couple of years, a single Red Wing can outlast 6 to 8 pairs of mass-market competitors. Master cobblers still hand-last each boot, shaping leather over wooden forms for a precise fit that resists breakdown. The result is a product that commands not just a higher price at purchase, but a significant resale premium years later. A boot built to be repaired, worn, and handed down, not thrown away. Lodge cast iron stands as a rare survivor in American cookware, tracing its lineage back to 1896 in South Pittsburgh, Tennessee. The Lodge family has held the reins for over 5 generations, guiding the company through waves of offshoring that swept away most rivals. In 2017, a new foundry opened nearby, tripling capacity and pushing annual output beyond 6 million skillets, an increase of more than 75%. Despite this growth, Lodge has not abandoned its roots. Each skillet begins with molten iron poured into hand-packed sand molds, a process unchanged since the 19th century. Workers still apply seasoning by hand, baking layers of oil onto the surface to create a durable, naturally non-stick finish. There is a caveat. While their classic seasoned pans are made entirely in Tennessee, Lodge's enameled cookware is produced in China, a distinction the company discloses openly. For the core line, however, the promise remains: American hands, American iron, built to endure. Benchmade Knife Company operates on a different level of precision. In Oregon City, each blade begins with aerospace-grade steel, cut by lasers capable of achieving tolerances as fine as 0.001 millimeters. This isn't a gimmick for collectors. It's a requirement for the military and law enforcement contracts that form the backbone of Benchmade's business. Yet technology alone doesn't define these knives. Every piece is hand-assembled by skilled craftspeople who fit, sharpen, and inspect each mechanism before it leaves the floor. The company's decision to fully repatriate production to Oregon in 2010 reversed years of offshore outsourcing, restoring control over quality from start to finish. According to the Vice President of Manufacturing, this blend of high-tech engineering and human touch is what sets Benchmade apart in a crowded market of mass-produced imports. The result is a tool built for reliability under pressure, not just another disposable blade. Smithey Ironware began in 2015, not as a legacy revival, but as a bet that American hands could still shape world-class cookware from scratch. Co-founder Patrick Evans started by restoring antique pans in Charleston, South Carolina, then set out to improve on their best features. Each Smithey skillet passes through a 6-stage polishing process, transforming rough cast iron into a glass-smooth cooking surface that rivals vintage Griswold or Wagner. The signature finish isn't a marketing flourish. It's the result of hours of hand machining and stone tumbling, a level of refinement rarely found in mass-produced imports. Artisans season each pan with flaxseed oil, building up a natural non-stick layer that only gets better with use. In just a few years, Smithey has grown over 200%, fueled by customers who want heirloom quality from a modern American startup. The company's success challenges the idea that handcraft is just nostalgia. Here, it's a competitive edge. Raleigh Denim Workshop stands apart in a city once gutted by offshoring. Founded in 2007, the company's backbone is a fleet of rescued Draper X3 shuttle looms, machines that once powered America's denim mills before the last giants shuttered. Here, selvage denim is woven from US-grown cotton, then cut and sewn by hand. Every pair is finished with a signature. The founders still sign the inside pockets, a mark of accountability you won't find on mass-market jeans. The process is slow by design, with daily output measured in dozens, not thousands. Waitlists stretch for months, driven by buyers who see these jeans as investments. Resale prices routinely reach 3 times retail. In a market flooded with disposable fashion, Raleigh's approach revives a standard of durability and craft that nearly vanished after the 1990s trade collapse. Each pair is built to age, to be repaired, and to hold value far beyond its first wear. Margins for American manufacturers collapsed from 12% to 5% between 1990 and 2022. Factories that once thrived on craftsmanship watched as offshore rivals undercut prices, flooding the market with disposable goods engineered for short lifespans. Many companies chose to chase volume and cut costs, sacrificing quality for quarterly gains. Survivors, those still making boots, skillets, knives, and jeans by hand, found a different path. As planned obsolescence soured consumers, a backlash grew. Online communities devoted to repairable, durable goods surged by 150% in just 3 years. Waitlists stretched for months. Resale values surged, and buyers sought out products that could be fixed, not discarded. The very forces that nearly wiped out American handcraft have now fueled its resurgence, turning scarcity and endurance into a new kind of strength. While most brands sold out quality for margin, these factories chose materials, repair, and longevity. Their survival isn't nostalgia. It's proof that American craft endures when durability actually matters.